Turn up the dive, feel the vibe, get ready to ignite. Untold stories in the airways, flying through the night. Experience voices, tales so bold. Streaming live, the truth unfolds. Untold Radio Network, where secrets come alive. New episodes daily, the mysteries thrive. Great guests, super chat, it's so I remember I. Share and subscribe, join the side where truth can't hide. Aliens in the alley, UFOs in the sky. Cryptids lurking, oh my, oh my. Ghosts in the hallway, whispering your name. The paranormal, the unexplained. Become a VIP, get the inside scoop. Unlock the mysteries, be part of the group. Live streaming stories are talking to you. Super chats buzzing, join the crew. Untold Radio Network, where secrets come alive. New episodes daily, the mysteries thrive. Great guests, super chat, it's a wild member ride. Share and subscribe, join the side where truth can hide. So if you've got the guts and you want to explore, tune into the untold, it's what you're looking for. From aliens to ghosts and all that's unseen. Untold Radio Network, where the world's mysteries convene.
Good morning, monsters. Welcome to today's show. I am your host, Barnaby Jones, and we are live today here on the Untold Radio Network. I just realized my mic was way over there and I had to grab it, but we are good. So today, guys, we have an amazing guest. She is an author and researcher and rock enthusiast and Bigfooter and Dogmanner and all kinds of stuff. And today she is here to talk about the Dogman. And we will get to that in just a second. But first, guys, if you're interested in what the Cryptids, Anomalies, and Paranormal Society team has been up to coming up this summer, here's what. There is a hayfield in southern Wisconsin that some consider the epicenter of the strangest and most disturbing phenomenon in Wisconsin. Strange UFO sightings, animal mutilations, orbs of light, and even the beast of Bray Road himself, the Dogman. Now, the team from Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society seeks to find answers. They are determined to discover the secret of Lee Hample's hayfield. Lee's Apples Hayfield has been featured on many shows from Expedition X and all kinds of stuff. It is a hotspot for all things paranormal, very similar to that of Skinwalker Ranch. We have had the opportunity to go out there and investigate it once before, and it did not let down. And this investigation is the same. It is going to be an amazing ride. We are still editing this episode because there is so much stuff to go through. It is coming out hopefully by the end of July. So make sure you guys like and subscribe and share the Wisconsin Caps page. And if you want to see us in person, we are coming to Johnstown, Pennsylvania, August 10th for Squonkapalooza. It is, I believe, the second annual event out there. Ron Murphy, myself, Daniel Benoit, Cryptids of the Corn, Eerie Travels Podcast, Bizarre Encounters, and Hillary Wilson will be speaking. We are also bringing the Hide and Adventure Traveling Museum with us out there, and you guys can check that out if you didn't get a chance at the Marinette Menominee Bigfoot Convention back in June. It will be all the way out in Pennsylvania. And then, guys, we are headed to Cryptid Con in Lexington, Kentucky in November. Tomorrow night, if you are in Wisconsin, you can come out and check me out down in Reedsburg. I will be down there tomorrow at 6 o'clock p.m. on Tuesday, the 16th. And then next Tuesday, I will be at Augusta Public Library at 6 p.m. as well. So, guys, if you want to come out and check that out, July 29th, I will also be at the Shawano County Library. So come out and check those out. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you want to show your support for all things here on the Untold Radio Network, here's
Hey,
how.
Untold Radio Network fans. Want exclusive perks and to support our channel? Introducing our YouTube membership program with 3 amazing levels. Get loyalty badges that level up to different cryptids the longer you're a supporter. How cool is that? You'll also get access to custom Bigfoot emojis and priority in chat. Upgrade to Backstage Pass for exclusive wallpapers, photos, status updates, discounted books, and merchandise. Go all in with the producer level for everything mentioned plus member shoutouts. Ready for an enhanced experience? Join now, pick your membership level, and let's make this journey even more exciting together.
All right, guys, my guest on today's show is Shetan Noir. She is the owner of Squatch GQ magazine and also a Michigan-based author and paranormal travel journalist. This resume goes on for about 2 pages, but she has done it all and seen it all. She teaches courses on paranormal history. She has written several books on cryptozoology. She teaches at the University of Magikus that is co-owned by Patti Negri. She has written several books and just everything. Welcome to the show, Shetan Noir.
Well, hello, and thank you for having me on the show today. It's always a pleasure to chat cryptids, paranormal, and everything under the sun with you. So wonderful to be here.
Absolutely. I mean, just looking at your Sasquatch GQ magazines, you have the Rock Hound, you have the dinosaur one, you have Bigfoot, and everything paranormal. The magazines that you publish alone, you got so many things going on, and then all the other stuff you do. I mean, it's quite the resume.
Well, thank you. It certainly does keep me busy. I've kind of put the magazines on a hiatus for this year. I just can't keep having the same people on the front covers, and especially for like the cryptids and the paranormal. And right now, there's like with the TV programming that we're seeing, it's kind of gummed up. There's only a few shows being shown on TV that everybody's watching. And unfortunately, you can't always interview those people. So I will be producing more of the issues of the magazine, but I kind of wanted like things to refresh themselves, and because it's gone kind of stagnant with everybody's seen the shows. There's nobody new. There's nobody, up and coming. And until there, is that going on, it's really, people are kind of losing interest. So, but yes, I do have Squatch GQ magazine. I have Cryptozoology Digest. I have Into the Liminal Abyss Paranormal magazine, Dinosauria and Prehistoric Creatures magazine, and Rock, Hound, and Prospector magazine. So more issues will be coming out. But I also kind of wanted to work on a couple of book projects too. So I can't really do everything all at once. There's only one of me.
So you're gonna stop writing so you have more time to write.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't do this writing anymore. I'm gonna do some writing.
Yeah.
Perfect. And you also have a podcast as well, right? How's that going?
Yes. So I do have a short 15-minute podcast that I do every Wednesday afternoon. It's called Higher Strangeness in the Liminal Abyss, because my first podcast was Into the Liminal Abyss, and this is just Higher Strangeness in the Liminal Abyss. But it's mostly just me talking about my opinions and viewpoints of what's going on in the world of cryptozoology, the natural world, the paranormal, from new shark species that are discovered to new dinosaur fossil species that they discovered, and how our environment or our weather or anything plays into the behavior of cryptids and natural animals. And so it's a lot of my viewpoints, but it's my show. I can talk about what I want.
Absolutely. So let's get into some well, first, before we get into this, the last time that I've talked to you and had you on my show, well, actually not the last time, I don't know, one of the last times, we'll say that, you were chasing this weird thing around Michigan. It was like a blob thing or something. Do you remember that?
The Beast of Old 127.
I don't remember it. I don't remember it having a name yet. You had gotten some sighting reports in this one
Yeah.
area.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that guy. I haven't gotten any more reports of it. But that could just be because nobody knows to contact me about their sightings of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's described as a large creature that's as tall as a camel, the color of a camel, but shaped like a bear, has these little fox-like ears and a fox-like tail, and can leap across the road in 2 bounds.
Yep, that sounds about right.
So,
yeah, interesting. I remember this weird thing that you were chasing the last time that I had talked to you, and I wanted to know what you'd found on it, so we had to cover that.
Yeah, not a whole lot. I've gotten the 2 reports, and who knows? It could be a species that has a regular lifespan, and maybe the big one died, and if there's others of them, maybe they're just not as big as that one was, and people just don't really pay attention to them. So I don't know, but those are the 2 reports that I've gotten of that critter.
Yeah, he sounds like something from Australia. I don't know, just the way you describe him, he sounds like Australian cryptids. They're weird. Awesome. All right. Well, you are the Michigan representative for the North American Dogman Project, right?
Yes, I am.
Very cool. Tell us, how did you get started in that specific project?
So that started about, I want to say, it seems like 15 years ago, but I know it's not been 15 years. But God, it could be. The North American Dogman Project was founded by several people, including Jody Cook, and he is the one who maintains control of it now. So I will just be referencing Jody. but they saw that we were getting a lot more reports of Dogman than people were reporting with Bigfoot. And a lot of people have like the Finding Bigfoot show and the Expedition Bigfoot shows to watch and learn, okay, this is what a Bigfoot behaves like. You know, maybe we're drawing its attention because we're doing this or that. But then you have the Dogman reports, and people are like, you know, we don't do anything like that, and we're still having this creature showing up. And so there was a call forth that we needed investigators. We needed people who could go out and do the research, do the field investigating, analyze reports, because not every Dogman report is a Dogman. Sometimes it's just people wanting to hoax. And you don't, you know, we're all volunteers. Nobody gets paid for this. And you don't want to send people out wasting their time. Their time, their money, their energy, chasing something that's, you know, somebody made up as a hoax. And there are a lot of people who like to hoax out there. So the North American Dogman Project is very similar to the BFRO, where they take reports of they take reports of Bigfoot. They will take reports of Dogman if you say it's a Dogman report. But the North American Dogman Project, we only take the Dogman reports. And we have a state-by-state chapter. All of the reports that get sent into the North American Dogman Project do get filtered out into each state's chapter for them to establish contact with the eyewitnesses and do our own investigations, see if this is an actual sighting or if it's a hoax, and then we add it to the case files.
Interesting. Now, do you have on the website and stuff, do you have a map and the sighting reports similar to the BFRO as well?
I have not been on the website in a good 6 months, but I do believe that they did have a map up at one time showing all the reported sightings of Dogmen from at least North America. So I do believe that's still up there.
Well, let us back up here now and tell everybody that may not be familiar, what is a Dogman and what's the difference between a Dogman and a Bigfoot?
So Dogman is a upright bipedal canine that stays canine. It's not a werewolf. It's not a wolfman that changes from human on a full moon to a bloodthirsty wolf type creature. No, Dogman is Dogman 24/7. They don't turn from human to canine and back again. They stay like this. They might walk on all fours, but that's usually a hunting strategy for them. They're usually bipedal. Now, your Bigfoots are apes. They are primates. They are a bipedal primate, just like humans are a bipedal primate. They are in the same, and I won't say family tree, I'll say family shrubbery, because there's so many different primate species throughout Earth's evolution and history that it really does look like a shrubbery instead of like a oak tree. So they are on there. You know, on one side you have Gigantolopithecus and you have Bigfoot or Sasquatch, and then you have your apes, your chimpanzees, and then you have humans way over here on this side, and we're all part of that family tree. Dogman, no. Dogman, we don't really know where he comes from because we don't have anything in the fossil record that says that this creature should be on Earth. In my opinion, Dogman is something that is either interdimensional or it is an alien species.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the important thing is when we talk about these creatures, Dogman has been seen interacting. It's been hunting, it's been eating, it's been drinking water. It is definitely a flesh and blood creature when it is here. It is not something that is like completely paranormal, that is just appears and disappears. It's something that has to be a biological species of some sort. But like you said, with no fossil record, it's really hard to pin down what these things are.
Exactly. And without that fossil, now that's not to say that a week from now, 6 months from now, 2 years from now, they're not going to find fossil reference that says, oh, hey, we have this weird, bipedal creature that looks like it could have been canine. But for right now, what I am saying is we don't have anything in the fossil record that says that this species originated on Earth. They might be here on Earth, but that doesn't mean they originated here on Earth. So they're either interdimensional or they're alien that have come to our planet and are not only thriving here, but probably breeding here and have set up either packs or colonies or whatever we want to term a group of them. Because there's not just one, it's just like there's not just one Bigfoot, there's not just one Dogman, there's thousands of them all around the world. So a lot of people have that mistake. They think, oh, there's only one of them. Well, there might just be one that you see, but that doesn't mean that there's not 10 others watching you in the woods,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, being a dog, you have the pack mentality, the hunting behaviors and stuff like that. So you would think there's definitely more out there. Well, same with Bigfoot. A lot of people report seeing one, but hearing more of them around as well. So it's definitely family units of these things that are probably moving around.
Yeah.
And as you said, people have reported seeing cubs of these things with the different creatures. Yeah. And it's not just in one location. I mean, you are the Michigan chapter, and I think one of the main, I think when people think about Dogman, you think of either the Michigan Dogman or you think of the Beast of Brick Road as your two main things, and that's just kind of centralized right where we are here in Wisconsin and Michigan. But you've taken, well, maybe not you specifically, but the North American Dogman Project has covered all over the U.S., right?
Yes. They have chapters for each and every state with a investigator as the head of that chapter, and they get the reports for their state to go investigate.
So what I know you're focused on Michigan, but where around the U.S. has there been the most sightings?
That's a hard question to answer, because the more people have sightings and report them, it adds, numbers. And it used to be, okay, people just thought that they would be in Michigan or Wisconsin. And then they thought, oh, the Midwest. But now we're getting, reports from like Alaska. We're getting reports from Europe. So these creatures are everywhere. And they're not just localized to one area. They are all around the world. And there's different, I don't want to say there's different breeds of them, but there are different types. There are some that are more wolf-like looking. There are some that are more jackal-like looking, or more like a pharaoh hound looking. Some that are hyena looking. And people might mistake what they're looking at. I've even had people suggest that Dogman is a skinwalker or a Wendigo, and those are 3 separate things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, they are 3 separate things. Dogman is a cryptid. Skinwalker is a human being that is choosing to use They're usually a Native American shaman who is doing dark work and is using that animal's pelt to do some like bad stuff. A Wendigo is a paranormal creature that I believe is parasitic. It needs a human host or a animal host in order for it to carry on. And it literally, when it gets that new host body, it literally runs it into the ground till it's rotting, and then it has to find a new one. So they're three very separate entities.
Yeah, I think that, like you said in the beginning, they're very much like a werewolf, except without the transformation. When you think about your typical werewolf creatures, so absolutely. All right, so I think we're going to take our quick break here because then when we can come back, we can talk all about some sighting reports that you've had, and we can go to questions. So if you guys have any questions for Shetan Noir, she is an amazing guest here today and has experience in any topic. We will try and cover mostly Dogman, but any topic that we've discussed is fair game in the comments section, and we will get to them. We are live today in studio, so if you got them, put them in there. We'll be right back.
Show your support for the Untold Radio Network family of shows and join in on the conversation by using super stickers and super chats on YouTube. Got a question you want answered? Ask it live via a super chat and get real-time responses from our show's knowledgeable hosts and guests. Help keep the Untold Radio Network shows running strong. We need your support. Send your super chats and stickers now.
And I want to thank all of our Super Chats members out in the comments section. Thank you so much for all your support. We love you. We cannot do the radio show here without you. So on behalf of the Untold Radio Network, thank you all. Make sure that you like and subscribe and share to the Untold Radio Network. It's available wherever top quality podcasts are found and on YouTube. Shetan, we got a question for you. Shetan, what cryptids has Shetan seen herself? What have you seen?
Okay. So I have had a Bigfoot sighting, and I personally have found the track of what I am going to say was a Dogman. So those are my two cryptids that I have actually seen myself and witnessed myself.
Very cool. Very cool. And I think your Dogman Prince was up in Upper Michigan, right?
Yes, it was on the shoreline of Lake Michigan, just outside of the town of Nubian Way, at the rest area that's right there on Lake Michigan's shoreline. And I found them because I walked my little miniature pincher down onto the beach, trying to get her to go pee or poo. She wouldn't go, and so I had walked down to where the gully was coming out into Lake Michigan and was taking pictures of that, and I heard her sneezing. Now, she has the beginnings of tracking dog training on her, so she's actually smelled a Dogman now. And I turned and looked, and here was this series of paw prints that were huge. Her paw print is about the size of a quarter. This paw print was wider than my foot. Now, I wear a women's size 11 shoe, wide if I can get it. So it was wider than my foot, and it was 3/4 of my foot. And I wear a size 11. So that in any dog print is huge. And the most impressive thing to me was how deeply embedded into the ground it was. I'm 175 pounds, and I was barely leaving footprints into the sand. These footprints were pressed so deeply into, it was a half inch into the sand, very obvious. And there was a series of them going from the upper beach down to the lakefront, but there was no return track coming back. So wherever the creature came out at, it was not anywhere close to where it went into the water. And this was only about 50 feet from the rest area. So this animal is not afraid of humans.
And what was the substrate of that area that the print was in?
Sand. Sand. It was right on Lake Michigan. So it was sand.
Absolutely. Yeah, Lee comments, if it wasn't a Dogman, that was a huge canine. And that's, I mean, you know, most of your,
Well,
I don't know.
I showed you the picture of the track right when we were at Menominee, and I showed it to you. I showed it to Ken Gearhart. I showed it to Allison, and Ken said, well, that's not a bear, and that's not a cougar, and that's not a wolf. So, and it's not a Bigfoot. So, And I was like, so, Dogman then?
I mean, you get some big dogs, but I mean, even so, like 100 pounds, maybe 120 pounds is your big dogs. And then,
Your heaviest dog breeds are going to be a Newfoundland, St. Bernard, or a Mastiff, which can get up to 180 pounds to 200 pounds and have quite a large foot. But their feet, you have two different types of feet in canines. You have what's called a cat paw, which is a very tight, compacted paw. Think Rottweiler, Mastiff, Labrador Retrievers, Golden Retrievers. But then you have a longer foot called a hare foot, which you see in a lot of sight hounds, like your greyhounds, your borzois, slukies, Italian greyhounds. And this was kind of like a middle between the two of them. It wasn't a cat paw, but it wasn't really a hare foot. But it was a longer digit, and the nails, you could definitely see where the nails dug into the sand as it was stepping down with them.
Yeah, which obviously is definitely a canine trait, not a cat trait either.
Yes, because cats can retract their claws in.
Interesting. That's a big dog. Do you know what about a wolf? How big do wolves get?
So I have shown the image of the footprint to, like I said, to Ken Gearhart, who is probably one of the best known cryptozoologists in the world, and also works at a zoo. He's very knowledgeable with different animal species. He said, no, that is not a wolf. That is not a bear. I also took it up to the North American Bear Center, where my mom is the black bear curator. And I showed it to their head biologist up there. And he said, that's not a bear or a wolf track. So no, it wasn't a bear and it wasn't a wolf.
Interesting. I was wondering, what about a wolf? How heavy do wolves get though? Do you know?
Wolves can get quite large. I would say a well-fed, mature wolf, you're probably looking at an animal that's about 100 pounds. Our male German Shepherd, who just passed about a week ago, he topped out at about 92 pounds, and he was in good weight. But I do know that northern wolves, the timber wolves and things like that, are a little bit bigger. They have a longer, lengthier build, which can add more weight on. So I would say between 100 to 125 pounds would probably be, a good weight for them.
I was going to say, wolves are probably, a lot leaner than your average dogs and stuff.
Yes,
as far
because
as
they
like,
have to hunt for their food
hmm yeah,
or
so
find roadkill,
mhm,
which in the UP, in northern Michigan, in northern Wisconsin, and in Minnesota, roadkill, is quite abundant.
mhm,
Um, but it's a lot of work for a animal to chase down
mhm.
dinner that's running. Herbivores, not so much. Your berries and nuts and stuff like in grass aren't going to run away from you, but that animal that's eating that is going to run away from you. So, and they are quite fast. So,
Wow. He says up to 140 pounds is what a wolf can weigh, is what he thinks. So
that's if they're well fed and they have a supply of food. Yeah,
mhm. But even still, that's not a lot of weight to leave that size of a footprint. So
right. Well,
that's cool.
considering I'm 175 and I wasn't leaving that into the ground as I was walking on it.
Mhm. That's a big animal. All right. Well, as far as like any recent reports or anything is that you've taken for Michigan there or anywhere, I guess, what is going on recently in the Dogman community over there? What have you seen or heard?
So I haven't been out on too many investigations this year. I was supposed to go do some filming with a film crew in May, but unfortunately, it just didn't work out for us to go do the filming at that time. It was a little bit hot then here in Michigan. I think we're going to do something this fall, but I'm looking at areas that are not really like Ludington, Michigan, which is where everybody thinks the reports are. Western Michigan is very good source for dogman sightings, but I've gotten a lot more sightings up in the UP of Michigan. In Marquette County has a lot, and it seems to be Marquette County and the next county east to it, and then right there around Nubian Way in Upper Michigan's UP that I have personally been seeing an uptake of reports.
Very cool. What have people been seeing?
Large, upright, dark colored animals that if they see them crossing the road, they're not walking. They leap across the road, which
On
is
all fours?
indicative of well, it's not a horse. The animal they they will see it walking or running up to the road, and then it's just leaping across, and it does kind of a leap from the back foot to the front foot and over. So and you don't see Bigfoots doing that.
Yeah.
Bigfoots usually, if they're upright, they're running or they're walking or they're
Mhm.
being stealthy. Dogman can kind of go between quadruped to bipedal and as fast as they want to, depending on how they want to cover the surface. And it makes them actually more agile than the Bigfoots.
Mhm. Interesting. So are you seeing a lot more road crossings than other sightings, or like has there been like people out
Well,
hunting?
that's usually where people see them at is when they are driving. They will see them either in the fields or crossing the roads in front of them. Um, we don't get a lot of reports from hunters just because I don't think the hunters want to um, seem like they're afraid of them or get called crazy. But it's generally when you're at cryptid events or Bigfoot conferences that people come up to you and say, hey, I saw one in this area, or hey, this is what my best friend or my close relative said they heard in the woods or they saw in the woods, and this is what they experienced.
I don't really think that there's any reason why. I mean, like you see a Bigfoot out in the woods, and a lot of people have traumatic encounters because it's paradigm shifting. Oh my gosh, I don't know what that is. It's something completely
Right.
different. And I think that is, bad enough. But here you have this well, there you have a giant ape creature, kind of human looking. It's a lot less traumatic, scary, I would say. And this is comparison only, because if you see a person out in the woods compared to a Bigfoot, obviously the Bigfoot is terrifying.
Yes.
But if you look at these giant canine creatures, I don't think there's any shame in saying I'm afraid of that thing, because
especially when you consider that even the Bigfoots are afraid of the Dogman.
yeah.
Because one of the things that I have heard over and over again from Bigfoot researchers over the year is, as soon as a Dogman or a group of Dogmen move into the area, the Bigfoots up and leave. They are out of there so fast, because a one-on-one, a Bigfoot could win against a Dogman, but Dogman is never alone. There's a pack of them. A Bigfoot cannot win against a pack of Dogmen.
Mm-hmm.
They are evenly matched, with maybe Bigfoot being a little bit more muscular, but they don't have the canine or the bite per pound pressure behind their jaws that the Dogman has. When you consider that a pit bull has more pounds per pressure behind their jaws than a great white shark or a crocodile or alligator, that means canines have the strongest bite force on our planet. So you take that and you put it on the Dogman, who knows how to use that, that hard, that weaponry for, hunting and killing. They're not going to hesitate. Not to mention they have hands, they have arms. So they're going to go for the throat. They're going to go for the valuable parts of, that Bigfoot, that they can just kill them.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bigfoot, generally the Bigfoots are mothers with offspring. And that's what the mother's job is to protect their offspring. And you might have several moms and daughters together raising their young. But if they're trying to protect their family Bigfoot offspring, they're going to take off and get out of there. If they hear those Dogmen coming or smell them, they're out of there. No matter how good the resources are in that area, they will up and leave, because it's just too much of a risk if Dogmen are coming in. Dogmen have hunting strategies. They know how to kill. They know how to outsmart the Bigfoots.
That's a good question here, is how do you know that? And I think that, you're comparing this with just general canine abilities, like canine versus primate.
Yes.
It's yeah.
Yes. So your great apes, yes, they are big, they are strong, they are bulky, but, and I don't do this, nobody do this, but you take one ape and you put them in an enclosure with a pack of pit bulls, that ape's not coming out alive.
Yeah. I think for the most part, the great apes and stuff are much more docile anyway. I mean, they are, omnivorous. They'll eat both meat and that, but they're not like necessarily going out and pack hunting another animal. Whereas you see this in all of your canine species. They are pack hunters. They're carnivores. You don't see dogs out there eating berries off of trees, or picking stuff off bushes. So,
and the fact that wolves or even dogs in general will attack human beings means that they don't have a fear of human beings. That means that they're not going to have a fear of Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
And so your Bigfoot will up and leave. They're going to take their family. They're going to get out of there before that predator comes in and kills them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it makes sense. Again, all this stuff is hypothesis. hypothesis.
Yes. Because
You
we
know-
don't have great apes or orangutans or gorillas other than Bigfoot here in North America.
Correct.
We also don't have wolves like our timber wolves, our red wolves over in Africa. Yes, they have the hyenas, but the apes over there would never experience like the canines that we have here in North America. So, yes, we're hypothesizing, but I'm telling you, dogs hunt in a pack.
Mhm.
There's a reason why we call it pack mentality. They form a hunting strategy, and you isolate one individual, you go after that individual, and you kill it. Meanwhile, everybody else is running away to save themselves. A mom Bigfoot is going to be trying to get her subadults, her juveniles, and her infants out of that situation because she cannot protect all of them at once. Even if you have multiple adult Bigfoots, the hunting strategy just adapts to that, and you're going to pick out either the oldest or the youngest in that family group of Bigfoots, and that's who they're going to target. And they're going to continue targeting until they kill them. So just because you get out, just because you escape at that time period and you go to a different location, does not mean that they're not going to follow you and kill and keep targeting that one individual till they kill it.
That's any pack predator. Look at lions and stuff, and all of your big cats and stuff over in Africa. They will specifically seek out the smallest or oldest, like you said, or the sick ones in a herd and target that one because it's the easiest. And unless, and I don't think that we're talking a lot about Bigfoot and Dogmans attacking each other, and I don't think that this is very commonplace because I think if there's anything else in the area to eat, the Dogman's going to go after that first. Deer or rabbit,
deer. And they will gladly jump scare a herd of deer and then pick off the stupidest, slowest one. Or an even better strategy is they're intelligent. They know what time morning and afternoon people are going to be driving down a road. So why do the work? Why not wait till you see cars coming, jump scare a herd of deer right into that oncoming traffic, have the deer get killed, wait for all the traffic to go by, and then you just go grab dinner off the side of the road and pull it into the woods and eat it.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that they do that.
We had a case in Rhinelander, Wisconsin, where we found a giant graveyard, we call it, of these animal bones and stuff. And we believe that's what they're watching the road right there.
Are you sure it wasn't a hodag?
No, I don't think hodags eat that. They only eat the white bulldogs.
Okay.
That's right. They don't eat the fish and the other stuff that was there. And yeah. Yep. But so let's talk a little bit about the evidence. So with Bigfoot, we believe they make the stick structures, we have audio, we have the footprints, we have these different types of things that we associate with the Bigfoot creatures. What is it that we're looking for or has been found that has been associated with Dogman?
So with Dogman, what we are looking for is canine footprints. And we're mostly referencing the adults with this because your juvenile, your subadults, and your adolescent Dogmen are going to have paw sizes similar to domesticated dogs. So we are looking for footprints that are at least 4 inches wide by 6 inches long.
Wow.
Preferably that are pushed into the ground more, which means a heavier animal. Now, it depends on the substrate that you're on. A hard-packed dirt trail, probably not going, unless it's rained recently, you're probably not going to see any footprints. But small gravel, pea gravel, you might get some tracks. Sand, you will definitely get tracks in. Their vocalizations sound exactly like wolves, coyotes. It's one of the good mimics that they can do is to sound like wolves and coyotes, because nobody's going to question that. If you know that there are wolves, coyotes, Siberian huskies, Alaskan Malamutes in the area, you're not going to question when you hear howls out of nowhere. But what you are going to question is if you have cats that go missing, if you have chickens that go missing, if you have livestock that starts going missing. That you're going to start questioning, because wolves don't pick up sheep, goats, cows, ponies, and walk away with them. Wolves might try to tear open your chicken coop or your rabbit hutch or anything like that and take them. They won't pick it up and carry it off. When you find your chicken coop 150 feet away from where it usually was, and you haven't had a tornado, then you know something weird's going on. So now, when we start hearing from farmers in certain areas that they're losing more baby animals than what they typically use or lose in a year, like, you know, when you're breeding livestock, there is a certain margin of loss. You can't expect every single baby to live. But when you have a higher percentage of it than what's normal, then you have an issue. And that's when we start taking notice of, okay, there's probably one in this area, because there's reports that, you know, usually April, May, June is your birthing season for farm animals. And usually about end of May is when farmers will notice that, okay, yesterday I had 30 baby sheep and now I have 25. What took 5 of my baby sheep? So it's reports like that we're looking for.
So what makes you think that the Dogman is taking the sheep and not a Bigfoot? And I hate to explain one with the other, because, you know, but
no, because the Bigfoots do need protein, and they will, you know, they will eat livestock. And honestly, what I tell people is, if you're in an area where you have farms, you have cornfields, you have pumpkin fields, you have grain growing, you have apple orchards, berry farms, somebody who's gardening and producing a lot of vegetables, anywhere that you have the potential for deer, rabbits, raccoons, possums, any of that, you have the potential for Bigfoot or Dogman to be in that area, because the deer and the other animals are attracted to that food to eat. Free lunch, apple tree, cornfield, pumpkin patch. But it also draws in Bigfoot and Dogman, because they go with where the food is. They will follow the packs of deer, or, you know, the farm areas where they know baby animals are going to be born, and they can grab a quick meal.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I've never actually thought of that. You know, we look at, you know, the edges of, well, we've heard reports of, you know, the Dogman, these creatures coming up to like behind malls and picking through the food scraps and the dumpsters and stuff.
Yeah.
So we know that they're on the edge of humanity right there. You know, monsters on the edge. You also have these farmlands and we think, oh, well, if there's people out there, there's probably not woods, there's no place for these things to live. But you make a good point, is that if you're putting up a buffet for either the creatures themselves, like Bigfoot to go grab a pumpkin or what have you, apples, etc., and even if they don't want that in the winter, when there isn't these crops, those areas are still going to be populated by the animals that eat off of those fields and stuff.
And
So
there's a lot of times where farmers might not cut down their whole cornfield because that cornfield, come hunting season, draws in the deer. Well, just because the deer aren't eating the corn doesn't mean Bigfoot's not going to.
Mm-hmm.
And just like a lot of pumpkin patches, they don't clear out all their pumpkins by the end of like October. There's still pumpkins in those fields, gourds and stuff like that are in there in November, and they leave them for the wildlife to take. Well, pumpkin seeds are actually a natural dewormer for animals. So you can bet that not only are the Bigfoots eating the deer that eat the pumpkins, but they're eating the pumpkin seeds and the gunk inside of the pumpkin for its nutritional value and for the seeds. And pumpkin itself is also very good for regulating the bowel system. So if they are having diarrhea, it will cure that. If they're constipated, it cures that. So knowing that during this part of the year, you have baby farm animals and you have deer coming into the cornfields and eating. That's why we're going to stick around this farm to eat. And then a couple months later, they're going to show up at the farm that has the fully grown cornfields and the pumpkin patches for the deer and also for the corn and the pumpkins.
That actually answers one of my questions that I've kind of always wondered is, there's certain locations where there's it seems like there's a lot of Dogman reports, and that'd be cemeteries and quarries and cornfields. And it's so cliche to say like, oh, I saw this thing moving through the cornfield.
Well, if you think about it, not a lot of people, once your relative is laid to rest, not a lot of people go to cemeteries. You might go back once a year in honor of their death to clean their grave, but not a lot of people go back to graveyards. So you have lots of areas in graveyards that are treed where there's no humans. Well, that's a nice place to rest and to go unnoticed by human beings. Quarries, you've got usually a area where you can dig and make yourself a den. Or you have where fresh water will get trapped and you have drinking water. Cornfields, you have everything. You have the deer, you have the rabbits, you have corn, you have invisibility because you can blend in with the corn and nobody knows you're there.
Yeah. Well, another thing about cemeteries, they're right on the edge of civilization again. They're right inside your city limits, right on the edge of it, and no one goes there. It is a perfect sanctuary for these things to hide out and hang out during the week, or not during the week, because they go on vacations on the weekends, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, so they a lot of them are wooded or are surrounded by a small wooded area or something,
Right.
And so you definitely
and
have
most cemeteries lock their gates at dark, and they're not unlocked if they do get unlocked until morning. And so you will find a lot of things hanging out in your cemeteries, your graveyards, whatever, because they are left alone and nothing like bothers them in there. So that's, why cemeteries are like almost a perfect spot. But other really prime locations that people report sightings are is on farms where, like if they have a broken down barn or shed that's at the edge of the field, they will make use of that. We have gotten so many reports, Bigfooters and Dogman investigators, of farmers who go into those sheds or those barns and they find just piles of bones and carcasses. Something's dragging those in there and leaving them, because that's essentially become their house.
Yeah, that's weird. Why would you find bones or something? Because something has to bring it in.
Right.
Eat it. Something has to be eating. It's just not gonna show
And
up.
you know, and I could dismiss it if it was one or two bones with small chew marks on them, because rodents and other animals will collect bones to gnaw on for the calcium, particularly female animals for raising their young. But when you're finding whole carcasses of like deer, and the farmer himself has not killed the deer and put it there, then something's taking it in there.
Interesting. A lot of good points there. We are coming up on the end of the show here, guys. If you have any more questions for Shetan, get them in the comments section before we wrap things up here. There was one other comment here, going back to your Wendigo. Now I hadn't heard this either. Did you say that the Wendigo takes on a different body after using up one? I haven't heard that.
So Wendigos are always in a state of hunger. And what happens is, in order to satiate that hunger, they will eat their own body parts. They will eat their fingers, their nose, their ears, their lips. They will start eating themselves to satiate that hunger. The Wendigo you have to think of the Wendigo not as the creature you're seeing, but the Wendigo is a parasitic entity. Think of almost like a demonic possession that moves from creature to creature and infects the new host. That's what a Wendigo is. It's a parasitic entity that infects the host and starts the cycle again. And that's why people claim to see these skeletal, rotted, corpse-like things chasing them through the woods when they say it's a Wendigo, because it's literally been eating itself. And it's always looking for someone new to eat.
See,
and the only way you can actually kill a Wendigo or a skinwalker is with white ash. You have to either dust your weapon with white ash or kill it with white ash, like a stake or something like that. And that is from Native American traditions.
Interesting. I've never heard, the parasitic side of the Wendigo stories. I mean, I'm not doubting you or anything. There's obviously different legends and lore in that, but I've always heard that it was like a shaman or something that went.
No,
bad.
that's your skinwalker. Your skinwalker. Yeah, your skinwalker is a Native American shaman who has chosen to use or do dark magic. Your Wendigo is a parasitic creature that hunts humans or anything it comes across to eat and kill. Nothing is immune to a Wendigo. They will wipe out an entire forest of creatures. And then they find a hiker, and that hiker, because they infect that hiker, or follow that hiker to the next location.
Interesting. Catherine says your answer is making my skin crawl.
I'm sorry, Catherine.
She also says thank you very much. It's been an interesting interview and a good mixture of information and details.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good. We should also plug that we talk about at the end of the show, coming up episodes and stuff. Shetan is going to be back on the Untold Radio Network on August 15th. She is going to be my guest on the paranormal spectrum because in all the time that I've known Shetan and all the conversations we've had, we have never discussed paranormal. And
I know I have so many good paranormal stories.
I know. I was thinking that. I'm like, I always bring you on for cryptids and stuff, and I've never heard you talk about paranormal. Oh, no, I know.
I've got so many.
I've heard some of your ghost ship stuff.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That's it. That's all I've ever heard you talk about. So I'm definitely looking forward to having you on August 15th, 10 a.m. on the Paranormal Spectrum. You will be back and discussing all things paranormal and weird, and we can dig into all that stuff and the what is it called? High strangeness. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was looking for the words there. Awesome. That's going to be awesome. So if you guys have any last minute questions here, throw them in the comments and we'll get them in before we sign off here. Otherwise, just a lot of thank you and, good show and stuff. But Shetan, where can people get a hold of you? Where can people get your books and magazines and all of the stuff? Are you going to be anywhere? Where can we get a hold of you?
So you can find me on Facebook under Shetan Noir. All of my books and magazines are available on Amazon. You can either type in Shetan Noir or Squatch GQ. It will bring up all of the publications that I have available that are in print. For appearance-wise, I do have a library presentation here in Michigan tomorrow at Commerce Township Public Library, and that is Cryptozoology of the Great Lakes. I will be at Gretchen Fest in Ohio, that's August 16th. And then I will be at My Paracon, which is in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan at the end of August. And then the Bigfoot and Brews event in Dewaganak, Michigan. I believe that is September 12th. Yeah. But that is my schedule so far. And I have way more library presentations, but starting in September, it's like 4 a week. So yeah.
Nice.
I'll be doing that until like the end of October. Then I can sleep in November.
Back to the crypt after Halloween and spooky season.
Yeah, because everybody wants spooky season. It's like we can actually start spooky season in August and go to mid-November, and people would be happy. And then we can go from spooky season to spooky Christmas season with all the Krampus and Wendigo and stuff like that stories. So, the fun times continue.
I heard this year that spooky season officially starts July 5th because it is the last retail holiday before Halloween.
Well, I do know that Joanne Fabrics and Michael's already have their Halloween decorations in. Yep. And Dollar Tree is already getting in their fall flower assortments. And Hobby Lobby already has their harvest time festival stuff in. So yeah, we're starting spooky season. Yay. In the middle of summer. I'm happy.
Absolutely. Yeah, you gotta, people don't realize when you're talking about the hobby stores and stuff like that, if you're gonna make something for Halloween, you gotta buy it, prep it, make it prior to that. It's not like you just go to Walmart and buy a string of lights and put them up the next day. You still have to create, glue, sew, whatever you're gonna do. And so yeah, these hobby stores or craft stores and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Early.
Oh yeah, I'll be putting out much to like my neighbors like horror. I'm gonna start putting out my Halloween decorations mid to like early September and be like, haha, there, my cemetery exists now for my pumpkins.
What do you mean? You take that stuff down, Shetan?
Unfortunately, yes, because we get a lot of snow here and I don't want my decorations ruined by snow. I still am going to try. If my finances allow me, I want to get that 10-foot skeleton that they have at Joanne Fabrics and put it like next to my big pine tree in the front yard and have him like holding like different things around the year, like pumpkins, you know, a jack-o'-lantern, like, you know, thing in like the fall, and then Christmas ornaments and like, you know, December, and an Easter egg and shamrocks and stuff like that in spring. So
You got to
I
get
still
the
have
big
plans of
werewolf.
putting him up. I
You gotta
want to get him and put him up.
They make the 12-foot one of those as well. The werewolf.
I've seen it. Okay.
Yeah. He's at Home Depot.
I have seen him. Yes.
There's
Yes,
still
there's actually-
homes around by me.
Yeah, I've seen him. Yep. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I definitely look forward to talking with you again in August about all things spooky and paranormal and such. And it's going to be a great show. That'll be Thursday, the 15th of August. So come back and check that out. So until then, Shetan, it's been a pleasure as always talking with you. And I look forward to the next time.
Thank you. And I will see you in a couple of weeks.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yep.
All right, take care. Talk to you later.
Okay.
All right, guys, coming up, we have, speaking of the paranormal spectrum, coming up this Thursday, my guest is going to be Danny Loosemore. He is a teacher of tarot cards and tarot readings, and he has been doing that for several years, and he's going to be coming and talking all about tarot cards and oracle cards and everything that you need to know about those, getting started, the history, the origin, and so on and so forth. Coming up next week here on Monsters on the Edge, Mel Shirka is going to be my guest, and that's going to be another awesome show. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. And until then, guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me here today and my guest. Until next time, I'll see you on the edge.